Hi and welcome to another demonstration of PatientflowHQ, the Note Writer. Today we'll go over a recent case that I just done, where we're going to use that to show some of the new features on the platform, and basically just how to use the platform in the most efficient ways. So first things first, if you were to sign in and you click the HMP Note Writer, it will bring you to this dashboard. And in the dashboard here, you have the button here where you click the create note. Some of these other notes are coming soon, but we're mostly just focused on the HMP note for now. So once you create that, it brings you to this place where you then type in, for example, the chief complaint. So we're going to do altered mental status. All right. If you have a voice dictation software on your computer or on your EMR, you can easily use that voice recording software and just take all the text and dump it in here wherever you wish. But if you don't have that, you can easily just type the narrative. So for example, we're saying a 75-year-old female presents with altered mental status ongoing for 3 days. We're saying the patient also endorses fever and chills. Patient found on the floor at home by family. All right, confused. Obviously, we already mentioned that. Unable to provide detailed history. That's the patient. That is. You can also double click here to see some of the common entries. These are some of the history components. You can either type in here, for example. You can search, history of something. So patient probably has history of CKD. They have history of COPD, history of CVA. Once you enter those information, you see that they're already populated here in the chart and the history of CKD, history of CVA, and all of that. So that's one other way to enter the history component. Here, basically the workup, and it would translate to basically all the workup findings you have from the ED encounter. For example, urinalysis positive for UTI, bicarbonate of 16, lactic acid of 4.2, patient's blood pressure 88 over, let's do a more liberal number, over 42. What else? Chest x-ray with no acute findings. Honestly, if you open these information, it probably takes about 60 seconds if you already have all your information together to enter all of these information. Then finally, this is the new part we added into the form, where if you give it, because again, we are assuming that the clinician takes charge of this process, where this tool is mostly just to help you have a more organized documentation. The diagnosis and all of the things that leads to the diagnosis, you retain the agency for that. It doesn't remove your responsibility. But if in this part of the form, if you were to suggest to it and you say sepsis, for example, here we can add, for example, creatinine 3.4 with previously normal baseline. All right, so that's another entry. So here I'm basically just saying patient has sepsis secondary to UTI. I will say they have AKI. I will say they have high anion gap metabolic acidosis. All right, so assuming I already put here anion gap, obviously because of lactic acid, right? It's almost implied here. Anion gap of 17. All right. So what else are we going to say? Acute encephalopathy. I'm just putting all these things here so you see how the platform actually works. So you have all of these entries, assuming it probably takes you very few minutes to put it in. You can edit, you can edit accordingly. You can remove findings that you don't probably put in an error. Sometimes if you copy the very large narrative and put it in the thing, it will still take it and you can edit it accordingly. So it's really very intuitive in terms of the way that it works. And you put all that and you click submit. All right, just watch how it just generates a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful note. Beautiful, beautiful note. Within a second, basically. I'm sorry, within 5 seconds, if you could say. And that's what we're pushing here, because at the end of the day, the important thing is that your narrative, your notes reflects what you're going to do, what your thought process is, and what the plan is. It helps with communication with the patient because it gives you an idea of what how long the patient is going to stay, for example. It helps communicate with other members of the team. It helps communicate with yourself when you come back and look at the note. You can see what you've done before and see, where to move forward from. And you see that the narrative is actually very straightforward. So if you had to edit, it's very easy. Now, very importantly, we added this other function here that you could edit the note from this platform, all right, itself. Right. So if, for example, I want to specify the antibiotics that I'm giving this patient now, I can easily say here, ceftriaxone. All right. I'm specifying here, and that's it just adds to the details that's found in the notes. All right. So I can edit several things, depending on what I like. And once you edit, you save it, and it's there. It's there. And you can copy by using this button. You put it in your EMR. You lay it out the way that you want it to be laid out, and that's it. Notes within 10 minutes, and it's not just notes. It's really detailed notes that actually reflects the most recent updates with the coding guidelines and billing guidelines that mostly now focuses on your thought process. It's not just writing a bunch of problem lists and just saying what you're doing, but you kind of have to present some narrative in the things that suggest your diagnosis. For example, here, AKI, likely secondary to sepsis and dehydration. That already informs a certain thought process, and we're just trying to capture and document things appropriately. But this is where we are. It's an ongoing process. The platform keeps getting better, keeps getting accurate. We're advising and inviting everybody who is in inpatient medicine, hospitalist medicine, to use this platform. It makes your work better. It makes you a better hospitalist, a better internist, and then we're evolving gradually to the other phases of the platform as we go. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.